welcome to the dojo, Connor. We're excited to have you. So, for those of you at home who don't know, Connor is the co-founder of Local Laundry. I was looking at your website this morning, and very inspiring mission statement. Where does that come from? I mean, you talk about wanting to give $1 million or donate $1 million by 2030. How'd you land on that number? What inspired you to kind of have that as your main mission statement?
It was a big number, man, and it just kind of seemed like, wouldn't that be crazy? Imagine if we could say that we gave $1 million to local charities. It was always kind of baked in right from the very get-go. We wanted to, use local laundry as more than just a business. We wanted to use it as a vehicle to give back, to connect with others, do stuff like this, what we're doing right now. Because when I first kind of started, no business being in the fashion game, no business being in e-commerce space or clothing or whatever. But I was always just kind of drawn to clothing about how it can be used to express one's values, right? Either on a conscious or subconscious level of getting your values across, how we want to be perceived in this world, and I was always kind of drawn to that. And because every day we get up and we dress ourselves, and whether we like it or not, we dress with intention, right? What you guys are wearing right now, you made a conscious decision to wear that for one reason or another. And I just felt that, we can use clothing as a way to give back, as a way to bring people together, to share their stories, bring awareness to these great causes and charities. And so we just kind of said, you know what, let's make it our mission to really, be able to donate $1 million to local charities across Canada, not to one specific cause, not to one specific charity, but let's try and spread the love as far and wide as we can. And we're almost at like 1/10 of our goal. We're almost at 100,000.
That's
So
that's amazing. So you've almost donated an average person in Canada's salary to charity. That's unbelievable. What are some of the causes you guys have worked with? Anything you'd like to share? Anything that
oh
has been?
man, yeah, you name it. We've donated to them. So some of the ones we're most proud of is one of the very first ones, the ones we continue to donate year after year, is the Drop-In Center here in Calgary. They're a great organization. The Calgary Food Bank, they're a second donation. We dropped off $100 worth of food, and we thought you know, um, we thought, we were Bill Gates, just dropping loads of money and dropping all this food. And they treated us like, they rolled out the red carpets, treated us like we were royalty, like, thank you so much. And they're like, take that, come on into the back warehouse and set it down. You take it in the back warehouse. And it's just like this massive warehouse of food, and our donations, like not even a drop in the ocean, but they still, like, we're so thankful that we took the time and made that donation. But then, other causes as well, that are nationwide. We're very proud of our work that we've done with Codette La Barbara in our Riders collection. We've raised close to $10,000 for different autism causes like Autism Canada, or, the Autism Asperger's Friendship Society of Calgary. It goes on, the list goes on and on and on. We're coming out with some dog bandanas in collaboration with Dual Dogs. We're going to be donating to the Animal Rescue Foundation, ARF, another great charity. Like, there's so many to go and talk about. We did one with Ryan Nugent Hopkins for kids sport, Brown Bacon for Calgary Kids. There's just kids cancer care, like, you name it. We've worked with them in some capacity, and we want to keep working with all of them.
So what does that look like? Like, how do you set up the exchange so that you can make sure to donate to these great charities?
Definitely. So it comes in a couple different iterations. We have our giving garments, right, which is our toques, socks, and blankets. And for every one that we sell, we donate one to a homeless organization across Canada. So to date, we've donated over 5,000 toques, 2,000 pairs of socks, and 500 blankets to organizations like the Drop-In Center, or Mission Hope up in Edmonton, and Red Door Society in Toronto. So that's one. Or it could be in a form of collaboration or partnership, like with Ryan Nugent Hopkins or Codette La Barbara, where we create a collection around them and what they and around the cause, and we donate a certain amount of every garment to that charity and to that cause. Or it can just be, us going to volunteer at an event, us doing, we get reached all the time for silent auction items, or sometimes our customers just like, hey, this is a great cause, donate here. So we go, okay. We used to have a saying that we want to donate 10% of our profits back to local charities. We had to stop saying that because we crunched the numbers. And last year we ended up donating like 40% of all of our profit. And our accountant got really mad at us. He's like, you guys are donating too much money. He's like, I think it's great, but let's bring it back in a little bit.
Take care of the business first, and then you can take care of everybody else.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the point of having a business. I mean, what's the point if you can't give back and have some fun with it and do some good? And sometimes it's not even about the monetary donations, right? A lot of these causes and charities, some of them are really small. No one's ever heard of them, but you get you start to tell their story. You start to talk about the cause, the people that the cause has impacted, and you start to share that out with your community. And sometimes that can be 10 times as valuable as any monetary donation, just to create awareness for all the good that these causes are doing, right? And to bring more attention to them. Yeah, we've been very fortunate, and we would not have been able to donate a single penny if it wasn't for the community supporting us, right? So people like yourselves, all of our customers, all of our partners, people that believe in us, that want to give back just as much as we do.
That's amazing. Connor, just want to pick your brain a little bit about your brand. I mean, obviously you're in the branding industry, the clothing world, and you're synonymous with giving back. How did you land on sort of that YYC logo or visual? Because I mean, I see that everywhere. Like, I didn't know that it was local laundry and that it was associated with all this great stuff per se, but I've been seeing that. I'm like, man, I need to get me some of that. Like, that is awesome. I want to feel like, it feels like I'm part of the community. But how did you kind of get there? I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, that's we seem to be perceived as these marketing and branding experts, and yet everyone sees that YYC design and calls us the YYC clothing company. Don't know who local laundry is. So it's still something we're figuring out and trying to work on. But, I came up with it. I was doing my master's, my MBA over in Sweden at the time. People kept asking me, where are you from? And I'd say Canada. I go, wow, that's so cool. Love Canada. Swedes love Canada. They say, where in Canada? I say, I'm from Calgary. And they're like, never heard of it. And I was like, man, I really wish I could have something that represented where I came from. But you kind of look at what was kind of on the market at the time, and it was all like I Heart Calgary shirts, or go to the airport and it's cartoon moose in an RCP uniform, Calgary Tower. And I was like, doesn't really represent me and who I am. And that was kind of just shortly after, around the time of the 2013 floods. And that's when YYC really started to take off in the social media space as a shortened version for Calgary, right? And everyone online started referring to Calgary as YYC. And so I just kind of thought, well, I kind of like that it says so much about Calgary without saying Calgary. So what if we kind of come up with a cool design around that? I mean, I am no designer. I kind of came up with it by fluke, really. And then when I met my business partner, Dustin, he had little mountains in there. And that's when it really kind of took off, and that was the design that kind of made us. When I first started the business, I started Calgary community tees. I thought like going hyper local and doing Renfrew shirts and Bridgeland shirts were the big ticket to the stars. And then we just kind of put this YYC design as like an afterthought, like we'll try and see how it goes. And no one bought any of the Calgary community shirts, and it was the YYC that kind of took over and it kind of kickstarted us. And now, we're always going to have it. We're always going to have our can design. We try to expand in other cities with that same sort of logo and style, and it just didn't work. So now we're really trying to expand, across Canada with just, simple, minimalistic, clean designs that really kind of showcase the best that Canada has to offer. And of course, everything we do is entirely Canadian made. So that's more where the focus is now, less so on the YYC and more towards, sustainability goals. And I just got some test fabric here. It's very exciting in my world. And it looks like every other shirt, but this is called, this is recycled cotton, and every single shirt saves, this is not a typo, believe it or not, 3,800 liters of water, every single shirt.
Wow.
Right. So like, this is the future. This is where we're going. The YYC is what kicked us off, But this is the kind of stuff that's going to help take us over. We're hopefully going to become. We've submitted our B Corp assessment to become B Corp certified. So hopefully we'll get that by early next year. So that's where we're going to go.
That's amazing. It's funny how much work is actually done in the clothing space for sustainability.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it really goes under the radar because it's not, the big sexy like solar or wind power or those sorts of things. But like, how much change have you seen over the years when it comes to the sustainability?
Oh, so much, and because clothing is the second most polluting industry in the world, every shirt that we own, like if to get a blue shirt, a black shirt, a white shirt, you have to dye it, right? You have to dye it, and that takes a lot of water. And what we've seen is the push come from the consumer side, right? And the first kind of step we made was going entirely Canadian made, right? When you choose to buy things and when you choose to support things that are made here locally, made here in Canada, you're choosing to support products that adhere to strict Canadian labor and environmental laws, right? So when we dye things here, we use I think like a tenth of the water that's used overseas, and think of the wastewater. Our dye houses, they have to get rid of that wastewater in a very environmentally friendly way that maybe not so strictly adhered to in other places. So the big push is coming from the consumer side of things, but the future, like in 5-10 years, all this is going to be table stakes. Everyone's going to be doing this. Is not my hope anyways, that this is not going to be like, hey, look at us, we're the sustainable brand. No. 5-10 years, it's just going to be the way you do business, right? So that's my hope.
Yeah, my wife actually started a clothing resale business last year, I guess. Right pre-COVID was when she incorporated. It was February, and then boom, COVID. But we did a little bit of research on that, obviously, and I think clothing resale is one of the largest growing industries in the world. Like this, and it's one of the, you mentioned biggest polluters. It's also one of the largest items that ends up in the landfills. Like the landfills are just filled with all these used clothing. So even, she has sort of this process where she buys clothes or gets clothes donated, sells them, and then what she doesn't sell donates back. So like it's not ending up in the landfill, and even that is worth it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've all gotten addicted to that feeling of going to Old Navy, Gap, you name it, and buying a shirt for $5 and just getting that rush, that high. Oh, I got such a good deal, that dopamine kick in our brains. But then what happens is you go home, you wash that shirt twice. It's like, that shirt doesn't fit so well anymore. Maybe I'll buy another. And you go back and buy another one. And these shirts, they just disintegrate in the wash, right? And that's when they end up in the landfill. So if you make a quality garment, a garment that's made to last, my wife's favorite hoodie of all time is her dad's hoodie from like the 70s, 80s, back when things were made here, made well, and it's still held up over time. She goes home, she puts it on. That's when she knows she's home. That's when it doesn't have a hole in it, not a single rip. That thing was built to last. But nowadays, I mean, you're lucky to get 2-3 washes out of a hoodie. People are just not washing their hoodies because they're afraid to put them in the washing machine. So when you make things to last, keep them out of the landfill, but also you shrink your closet. Our closets, have gone from like this. We're taking up entire other rooms in our houses with our closets, and still every morning we wake up with anxiety. I got nothing to wear. I don't know what to wear. What should I wear? Your house is falling down with clothes, So buy better, buy less, and buy stuff that's going to last. It's timeless, classic, and that's really our goal is to make garments, make hoodies that you can give to your kids and grandkids,
I've started doing that backwards coat hanger trick to see what I actually wear in a year. And it's amazing how many, like even now we're, coming up on 7 months into the year, and probably 3/4 of my closet is backwards coat hangers still, because I haven't taken them out at all. And it's not all suits. It's not just because I get to come into my basement and wear t-shirts every day these days. There's a lot of stuff that I thought I wore all the time that just sits there. And to your point, was just hey, that's a $5 purchase. I'm gonna get that sweet shirt.
Yeah. And I'm just as much as to blame as anyone else. No one loves the deal more than me, So it's just we just gotta think a little bit more cautiously. And that's really the whole idea behind local laundry is we love our craft beer, we love our local organic farm to table food. So why can't our closet be the same? Why can't all our laundry be local?
That's great. So hopefully that's whet everybody's appetite. We're gonna have you back when we're back to the full podcast, in a couple months here. But maybe on the way out of here, you're also a fellow podcaster. So just curious, what's that journey been like? What have you learned in that space, and how are you guys leveraging that platform, to drive awareness about your business?
Yeah, we actually use the podcast. So it's a podcast called Proudly Made in Canada by Local Laundry, and we actually use the podcast as a vehicle to showcase other great brands that are producing here in Canada. So we use it as a way to connect with other business leaders and thought leaders that in the space of Canadian manufacturing and from all different types of industries. And we use it as a way to kind of share their story out, right? And it's been a fascinating tool to use just to connect with these people. And I think this is my whole favorite part about local laundry in this journey, is that I get to meet people who think like me, they're as passionate as me, like you two. JP, I just met you, but Seth and I have fast become real good buddies. We think we're on the same wavelength on a lot of good stuff, and I imagine JP, you and I will be too. And it's just like, it's all because you guys started something cool with the podcast. We started something that I think is cool, in local laundry, and it brought us together. And I want to see how many more people it can bring together, not just me with people, but like us as a community, you know what I mean? So, I don't care if we get 10 listens, 20, I don't even look at the numbers. I don't care about the numbers. I just love being able to chat with people and connect, and how can we help? And wow, you did this. How did you do that? And sharing that with the world. So it brings me a lot of joy, and I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful to come on your guys' podcast as well, and get to participate in something that brings you two joy as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're super excited to have you, and I'm looking forward to season 3. Like we finished season 2 and we were already talking about all the great stuff coming in season 3, and local laundry definitely came up as one of the highlights to start off the season. So we'll be excited to get you on and share a full hour with folks, because I still have so many questions.
Even bring Dustin along maybe, and we'll
heck yeah,
do like a full co-founder episode. That'll be awesome.
Seth really just likes to make 4-person interviews for me. That's his goal.
JP loves to edit 4-person interviews.
It's my favorite. What how can people get to your podcast, get to Local Laundry, participate, donate, all of those fun things?
Check us out at locallaundry.ca. Fire us an email anytime at info@locallaundry.ca. We got a phone number on our website. Give us a call. Love to have a chat with you. Our podcast is Proudly Made in Canada by Local Laundry. You can check it out on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. And feel free to fire us a message or follow us on social at Local Laundry. Don't be shy. Let's talk about all things. You want to start a clothing company? I'll tell you all the things not to do and all the mistakes I made, so you don't have to do them. Anything at all. Always happy to chat.
Awesome. Thanks for popping by, Connor. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.